Toronto's diverse music mix, Vibe 105. What's going on, everyone? It's your girl, NoBetterNina, and I have a very special guest with me here today, virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kenya Jade. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, I actually saw you perform at To Be Famed Later back in
Mm,
February, I think it was.
yeah.
Let me just say you had the place packed. A lot of people came to check you out, which was awesome. Was that your first performance?
No, I had been performing a few sets a week.
Okay.
It's really important to me to kind of develop a really good live set. So the first performance I had did was with Blank Canvas. That was the first time I had ever performed my own music. It was like maybe 2 months before that.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, you did get a standing ovation at To Be Famed Later, which was the first time they ever had that happen. So that's pretty cool. So what would you say you've learned kind of throughout, like from your first performance from Blank Canvas to Be Famed Later? Like, what are some things you kind of picked up along the way that you're like, okay, I need to apply this to my next performance?
A kind of presence, I think,
Hmm.
is something that I'm trying to learn. I've learned a little bit about it in performing, but I am trying to kind of learn more about that. It's about connecting with the audience and really being present, because when you get nervous, I tend to get like a little like floaty, if that makes sense. You're not there on stage, and then you start to get in your head, and people don't connect with you on stage that way. And so
Hmm.
I'm trying to stay more grounded while on stage and connecting with the audience.
Okay, that's awesome. And so not too long after I saw you at To Be Famed Later, you started the B-side sessions on your YouTube channel. So tell us a little bit about what that is.
The B-side sessions are a set of videos right now that we've recorded. Some of my friends have joined in on them. It's meant to be an organic and like unplugged version of some of my original songs, and then we also have recorded some covers. Um, we wanted a way to keep engaging while I wasn't performing,
Mhm.
and so it's just been a fun way to kind of get together with some friends and just do what we love.
And so when it comes to like doing covers on the B-side sessions, how do you guys choose what covers you're going to do?
I try to keep it as fun as possible. So there's not much thought into going into what covers, like it's not, oh, what people will like or whatever. It's just kind of what we're listening to at the time or what we enjoy singing. So the first few were with my friend Grace. And that's kind of something that we used to do back in undergrad. So we would get together every weekend and we would kind of just go into one of the big lecture halls and just sing some of these songs. So we thought it would be fun to put a video to them.
And the sound in those big lecture halls is probably like crazy when you're like singing.
It- I went to school at Queens.
Oh,
Some of
okay.
them are really old and like they have really great acoustics.
So as an artist, you're really just starting out. So tell us kind of when that turning point was for you where you're like, okay, I'm gonna like do this and really just pursue this whole singing thing.
Yeah, it kind of that feeling kind of comes in waves. Sometimes you forget you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
I think the turning point though would have been probably when I got my song coming down mixed and mastered. My brother had taken me over to meet this producer who was also an engineer and who was gonna master my stuff. And I was sitting there and I was like, wow, he like really brought the quality of my song to the next level. And I was like, wow, people are gonna hear this and I'm really out here doing it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And so who would you say are some of the artists who inspired you musically to kind of get to this point?
Mhm. I grew up in a musical family, so I grew up listening to a lot of reggae.
Mhm.
My dad was in a reggae band when I was growing up, so I've always been around different kinds of influences. But for me, I think it was kind of country music. It sounds strange, but I listened to a lot of country. I really connected with artists like Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline. They have this kind of like pain in their storytelling that I really want to capture or hold on to because it
Mhm.
kind of just kept me interested in what they were saying and how the music felt. So yeah.
And so if you could collab with any one of those artists, who would it be?
Ooh. Either one of them would be incredible. It would be awesome to get to write with Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
his
That's the
storytelling.
one name you said that I did recognize. The other one I didn't because I don't listen to country music,
That's fair.
but it's good to have like a diverse palette when it comes to music and to kind of get your inspiration from. So that's
I
awesome.
think, yeah, I think like it's really big popular culture figures from every era. So I
Hmm.
became really obsessed with Motown as well, and like that's where a lot of the R&B influence comes from, like a lot of the soul stuff. Yeah, I listened to like a lot of Adele. That was like a really big deal for me when 19 dropped.
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse, a lot of like the UK sound.
Yeah. And so let's get into what everyone's here for. Your new single just dropped and it's called Don't Come Back. So tell us about that song and what inspired it. Because I noticed your bio said your music is an arrangement of your inner life. So is it about a guy or?
Um, it, it is about relating, I think, and I hope people take from it whatever they're relating to at the time. It doesn't necessarily have to be about relationships, but for me, it was about a relationship.
Mhm.
But at large, it's more about kind of letting go of things that no longer serve you. At first, when I had written it, I hadn't really discussed uh, the song with anyone. And I had thought, okay, it's like kind of a message I'm sending to someone else. And when I do the live performance, as you had seen, I tell people, like, this is a message that you need to tell other people who are not valuing you and think that they can come in and out of your life. You have to tell them, like, don't come back. And then I reflected more on it. And as we were doing the music video, I was trying to describe my vision
Mhm.
to one of the directors. And he had explained to me, he asked me to reflect on whether I really thought I was speaking to someone or if that was a message I wanted to tell myself. And so in the end, I think the overall inspiration is something that I want to learn for myself, to kind of step away from situations and not to return to things that are not in my best interest.
Yeah, things that don't serve you and stuff like that, for sure. That's a good, like, that's a really dope message. I love that. So the visuals for Don't Come Back do come out at the beginning of next month. So can you maybe give us an exclusive of what we can expect for that?
The visuals are really captivating. They're really like, think like jazzy nightclub, lots of smoke, a lot of red.
Mhm.
Um, I think I really want to encourage people to focus on the storyline. There are a lot of like very subtle things that we put in the visuals that I don't think people will catch on their first watch, at least. I think this is the kind of thing that you have to watch multiple times to kind of really get what's going on. So it's kind of like a cycle, and you see me kind of going through like a Groundhog Day process. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah. It's,
Yeah. So I actually was able to see it because I had like the pre-watched link.
yeah.
So what you're saying makes sense to me. And what was it like filming a music video during COVID? Did it change any initial plans you would have liked to incorporate into the video?
I had nothing to compare it to because this is my first music video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
But I think like just restrictions on how many people I could have with me, so it made it more of like an intimate set,
Hmm.
which was kind of intimidating. I don't really like to be on camera a whole lot.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary, but I don't know. Everyone made me feel really comfortable and safe, and everyone took like the proper precautions. There weren't very many of us on set, but the team and like the crew themselves are just like very professional and made it really easy.
And I think kind of for well, the music video itself goes really well with the song from like the whole thing that I saw. And kind of being intimate like that was kind of good in a sense for this song in particular, I feel like. There was also, a mask in the video, which I thought was cool and kind of fit into the time here, but we'll let everyone else see it first. And then, we could discuss that another time because I don't want to give away too much for everyone. Um, so, how did you find it personally, though, during COVID to kind of keep your creativity going with music and songwriting? Was it harder? Was it easier? Like, how was that for you?
It did change. I would say it was different, and I don't know how much more difficult it was. I'm someone that does require like a lot of structure to stay on top of my things.
Hmm.
So it was difficult in the sense that I had all this free time, but not a lot of structure.
Yeah.
I found that the inspiration was still there. I had to kind of spice up my daily routine to kind of do new things every day to gain that inspiration, but it was still there. It was just about actually sitting down and forcing myself to write and just stay on top of them as if they were tasks in a schedule.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people, including myself, are having a hard time is kind of like having that strict structure around you and stuff, and like getting up and going to work, like it's very different now, so it's definitely understandable. We just mentioned the music video for Don't Come Back, and it's dropping soon, but what can we expect from you in the near future? Maybe an EP at some point in time?
Right now I'm sitting on a bunch of singles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm focusing on creating more. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see that every Sunday I'm starting to write to new instrumentals. So that's been something that I'm doing to just kind of create more music. Right now, not necessarily as an EP, but we do have some tracks. I like to create projects as wholes, so I don't like to kind of put them together if they weren't meant to be written that way.
Yeah.
So if I do send out an EP, it is because I want you to listen to it in that order and or that flow.
Yeah.
So right now I think just looking forward to some more singles.
Okay, so it's still stuff to look forward to, which is good, and I totally understand you on that. And where can listeners check out your music and keep up with you on social media?
Yeah, on Spotify, Apple Music. My social media handle is I am Kenya Jade. Yeah. Then you can check out my website too. It's all linked in my bio on Insta.
Awesome. Be sure to keep it locked right here to Vibe 105 for the rest of the midday vibe. And make sure to check out Kenya Jade's music on all your streaming platforms. And here she is right now with her latest single, Don't Come Back.
Through this time, back up your pretty words. Maybe it's me, I needed too much. His shit is his shit. Don't make it your own. Nah, don't eat what he feeds you. Can't make it a home. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Your sound, your vibe. Toronto's diverse music mix. Vibe 105.